Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second episode of It's Never Chalked with Chevy. Today, joining me on the show is none other than Mr. VanceVK himself. Vance, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, my name is Vance. I'm from Buffalo, New York. I'm currently the CEO, art manager of Neglect Gaming. Just a little friendship, family type team. Worked with Chevy in the past on a couple other teams. We had a lot of fun together, and I'm hoping to have a lot of fun in this podcast.
We sure did have a lot of fun on those teams, didn't we?
So much
What was
fun.
it? Did it start with Pivotal?
It did, yeah.
It did. You came
I think,
on as a streamer, didn't you?
no, I came on as a Fortnite player.
That's what it was.
I think I hit up the team page, and then I'm guessing it was you on top of that, sent me over to Roy from the last
Uh-huh.
episode
Uh-huh.
and sent me to, was it Bandit? I think.
It was probably Bandit. You know, Bandit was one of those. I think he was one of the original members, and I think he was helping out with the Fortnite side because he was super into comp then. I mean, he still kind of is, but I know like at times he's strayed away from it. But you know, with him joining, who's the new team? That academy team was
Rebel.
it Rebel? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's real
Wait.
awesome. That's a good step for him.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, I mean, we had Pivotal, and then Bushido, good old team, good old fun team, and then
Memories
then
in
here we
that.
are. I'm with Azure now, and you're with Neglect. But yeah, I mean, it's been fun.
Oh, so much fun. Always enjoy getting some good time together with the old Bushido boys.
No, it's always fun. It's always a good time having conversations, playing COD late, whatever it may be. I have
Oh,
not
yeah.
touched Fortnite in a long time. I know we used to play that a little bit, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
back, what was that, season 6, 7, something like that?
It was something like that. I mean, I got into the game. I mean, supposedly I had a win in like season 2. Don't know how. Played it hard 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just I strayed away from it. It wasn't a enjoyable game for me after that. And you know, this COD came out, you know, MW came out, and I had fun with that. But I don't know. I haven't played it too much.
Yeah. I play it occasionally. No. I kind of
Mhm.
switch between 3 games. I'm playing Fortnite a bit, playing some Modern Warfare a bit, and then some of those dubs on the Battle Royale in there. Warzone, that's the word.
Oh,
And
heck yeah. God, Warzone.
yeah, dope, dude. I'm also playing a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege, which not too many of my friends play, but dude, so much fun.
I used to grind R6 back in high school a lot. And then I think it was my final semester of high school actually. I mean, PUBG had just kind of come out for console and it was awful, but it was still enjoyable. And I was still playing R6 a little bit, and then that game's a grind. It is such a grind, and it'll ruin your day
Oh yeah,
very
100%.
very quickly. So I had to stray away
100%.
from that game. I think going into the summer is when Fortnite was popping a little bit more. I think season 4 had just dropped. That was summer of 2018. Season 4, season 5-ish, I can't remember exactly, but I mean I had a lot of fun with those seasons. Like I played countless hours with my buddy Roman, and I mean then I started streaming towards the end of that summer and met all you guys, and here we are. Here we are now, creating a podcast. So I mean it's been fun. It's been good vibes. It's been an awesome time, and I don't know, I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, season 3 and I think personally through like 7-ish were the peak. That's when we all got together. We all had all the most amount of fun, at least for me personally. It
Mhm.
just that's when everything came together. Bushido really formed as a nice tight knit community team. I miss
Yeah.
those days.
Yeah, no. I sometimes look back on them and they were just enjoyable days. I mean, besides the fact that school was personally slipping for me, um, the team was it was enjoyable to be around. I mean, we had a lot of members. I mean, I think we got up to 45 members at one point. We were contracting different esport teams. Had a
Yeah,
great content side. I mean, the Fortnite side was popping. They were doing their thing. They've always done really good stuff. But I mean, crap, we can talk about Bushido a little bit, you know, before we hop into our certain topics and whatnot. I mean, just what how it all started and what went down. And I mean, I guess I can start it off with how Bushido is exactly formed. And
yeah.
that's
Go
just the
ahead.
fact that we had Pivotal, Pivotal United, a good old team. That's the one that me and Vance touched base on just a second ago. Um, Me and Dez were going 50-50 ownership. He found me within Regal Reserve as a streamer at the time. This was late 2018. Towards the end, the tail end of Pivotal, the team split. Just split up. Ownership disagreements, whatnot. I was in a bad place at the time, and I let it affect the business itself. Des was in a bad place at the time, and I'm not going to speak for him, but it affected the business as well. Today we're on good terms, and we're co-owners of Azure. There's a three-way ownership there. We all call ourselves owners, but Bushido was formed. We had this guy named Caesar who we picked up as a lead, who always posted all sorts of really, really motivational speeches in the chat. Like always. It seemed like every day we saw stuff, and we just picked him up as an Xbox console GB star. And the dude's filthy. He's got a great aim.
He's nuts.
He's nuts. He's a great guy. I still talk to him every once in a while. Talked to him the other day. He's doing real well. He's finally on that tail end of getting out of the Navy, and I think it's coming very soon. I can't exactly remember the exact date that he told me, but getting back to the story, Caesar tried, me and Dez had dipped, and Caesar wanted to figure out, what was going on, so he went to both parties, me and Dez, and just said, hey, like, he understands what happens. He understood, and he's going to kind of make sure the guys are good. So Pivotal was kind of still alive, but it was soon to end. It definitely ended after I just kind of dipped out of there and Des dipped out of there. So Caesar goes on to form what we call Bushido Uprise, and I had no part in the team in the 2 months after it was born, basically. No part. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was trying to fix my grades. I was trying to, I don't know, I think I kind of dove back into content creation for a little bit like I like to do, but I mean, were you there after everything, like when Bushido had like just started?
I think I was a couple weeks after it started. Not right away, but once it started getting a little bit of traction, they brought me back in too as the Fortnite player. And they really didn't have any organization in the Fortnite team, no real lead to keep everything going. Reach out to Caesar. I'm like, hey man, I see you need this. I want this. I have some leadership experience with past like high school teams and college teams. Let me get this under order. I'll help you out however I can, man. Started that out. And after I got that lead position, we picked up a lot of the names that were just the key faces, I think. There was the original Pivotal team. But we also brought back Favilla and who's his partner there?
It was Reflex at the time, Jordan, right?
Yeah, Reflex. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We brought them back, which was a huge score, which just led to a couple of his good buddies they played with, Grizz, Blue, Mizo, all those guys. They just came in and we formed that tight-knit Fortnite team under Bushido, and it kind of blossomed in the community a bit. Not the major, but we had our solid everyday fans come and hype us up,
I mean, everybody was. I mean, there's a good fan base behind that team. There was just really good vibes. It seems like we always picked up really good people. I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it. I mean, Bushido was formed. It did well. I came back 2 months, 2 months after the team had started as a lead. I didn't want to come back with some big, powerful position. I didn't deserve that. I knew I didn't deserve that. Caesar gave me an opportunity, and he always said that as soon as he added me, like things took off. Like it seemed like I just wanted to organize as much as possible, and up to that point, Bushido had done a really good job of picking up really good people, and we just took off. I mean, he had the LLC figured out right after I joined. We started contracting people. Tried a Gears team, which ultimately it just didn't work. But I think Gears is a good esport to get into. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Had the Fortnite side of things. I mean, I think overall we did really well. But come about November, October, I can't remember exactly when it was, of 2019. Just ownership differences as always. The team it ultimately ended. Things just there's no bad vibes about it. I'm complete friends with everybody from that team, but we just didn't want to continue going on the path that we went on. I took a break.
Spiral out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I took a break and focused on personal stuff, focused on school stuff, as I keep reiterating, because when you pour your all into something that you don't get paid for and you're taking time out of your day while you're balancing school and a job, it's a lot. It is a
Yeah,
lot, and sometimes it overshadows and does take more out of your school, your work, your personal life, whatever it may be. But you grind because that's just you want that end goal of helping people grow. And that's just always been my goal.
yeah, exactly. That's what Bushido was all about. We always
Mhm.
iterated that we're a stepping stone to get you guys, the players, to a higher place, to the bigger orgs, get noticed, make it big.
Exactly.
What we were all about.
Oh yeah. It was
Yeah,
fun. It was fun. We had Honor the Code, we had merch, we had a lot of videos. Looking back, I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of videos on that YouTube. I still have them on this laptop right here in front of me. They're not up on a YouTube anymore. I think it got, can't remember the exact name of, I don't know, it got terminated basically. It's gone. You'll never
yeah.
find the Bushido YouTube anymore. But yeah, I took that break. And then I decided in February of this year that I was going to come back into the scene, the community, the gaming community, and just do content. Then I was, brought this opportunity to help out with an organization that had capital behind it, which really piqued my mind. Like, I was just like, ooh, like that's kind of dope. Like we got a little bit of money flowing behind us. And then we just rocked with it, and you have neglect now, and we'll obviously touch base on that a little bit later. But I mean, up to this point, I mean, I've had fun. It's been a real enjoyable ride. I mean, I don't know about you. I mean, have you had fun?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to stream and create as many YouTube videos and stuff as I would like. I'm pretty busy
Hmm.
in my personal life right now. But any chance I get on the stream. I'm playing with friends. I'm just having a great time. Hanging out with the girlfriend in the afternoon after she goes to bed, just grinding, just playing. A lot of fun. Try and get streams up when possible. Yeah,
Awesome.
usual.
Well, man, I guess we can talk a little bit more about your this career path that you've taken. Your work, your job. What you're up to. And that would be, being an EMT. How is that? How'd you get into that? The process of, tell me everything. Tell me what happened. And, I guess we'll definitely touch base on, what's going on right now. And how that's affected your job and whatnot. But yeah, man, go ahead and talk about, just everything from the get-go.
Yeah, so like you said, I am a New York State certified EMT based out of Buffalo. I got into this really from my family. My whole family, my grandpa, grandma, both my uncles, several aunts, my mother, they were all EMTs for our local volunteer fire department. And just seeing all the help and good that they were doing within our community, I knew that when I was older, I wanted to be part of that. I wanted to help the people that really just can't help themselves. And, you know, I was working a job I didn't really enjoy back the end of last year, and I found out that in Buffalo there is an EMT aid academy, and I applied for it, went through the whole interview process, and I actually got into it. Luckily, there's a good number of people, like 60 people,
Oh,
that
wow.
applied for it, and only 10 of us got in, which I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to be part of that 10. And after about 2 months of going to the classes and learning about how to, not diagnose, we can't legally diagnose things, but unofficially diagnose different conditions and help with them. You take a New York State test, and I took that and I passed it. And here I am now as a.
Well, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate
You seem very passionate about, this aspect of your life. And that's awesome. I mean, I feel the same, with what I'm trying to do for school. And that's just, I mean, if nobody knows, I'm going to school for forestry and wildlife management. And I hope to do stuff within the, I don't know, wildlife area, more so wildlife, not really forestry. Forestry's it's not difficult, but the classes are not fun. That's just what I'm trying to get at there. But that's
Oh, yeah.
awesome, man. I mean, it's really, I don't know. I love our first responders. I'm a big advocate of that. I got plenty of family, a lot of police officers in my family, a lot of military personnel and whatnot. It may be, I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. But I mean, I guess going into this next thing. I mean, the coronavirus. I mean, I touched base on this last podcast, and this was I can't remember exactly when the last podcast came out, about a month and a half ago, give or take, when this goes live. It was getting bad. It was at that time. This was the middle of March. And it's definitely progressed. Just like I said in that one episode, I said it's going to get worse, and it definitely has. And as we're recording this now, it's still growing, as it has been. But I mean, how's this affected your work? You've had some, I believe you've had some firsthand experiences with it itself, and just whatnot. So I mean, just kind of talk about it. Let us know what's going on within your career on this COVID-19.
Yeah, so, well, first off, I just want to iterate that this is a very, very infectious, that everyone should be, washing their hands several times a day for at least 20 seconds, soap and water. I'll really scrub the disease off. Not touching your face, obviously. That's just the ground rules of how to try and minimize your chances. Uh, People should also, when they're going out into public, should be wearing masks if possible and practicing social distancing. Just it'll help find the spread of the disease exponentially. If people just relax and all stay away from each other, it's not going to spread, and eventually it's just going to die out. Something that people don't realize is that people can have COVID-19 and not show any symptoms at all, and those people are still going to be able to spread that disease just by talking in close distance with people. Uh, just I want everyone to stay safe out there. Seeing that it can take healthy, even young adults and just put them into horrible positions. I can't really talk too much about personal cases just because I'm sure you know about HIPAA laws.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I completely
Yeah.
understand.
But it it just feel like you're drowning in from what I've been told. It's just brutal, brutal. Um, but how it's affected me, I we have to double down on cleaning all the ambulances that we use. We use a special fogger with a chemical in there that kills the virus just when it touches it. It's gone. So they're all getting cleaned like that. It's a lot of extra work, but you know, help keep people safe. It has to be done.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just more time has to go into work. That's really the biggest difference that I've seen. More time, more attention to details about what you're doing.
Hmm.
Making sure you're not touching your face at work. You're not you're wearing your mask while engaging with everyone. It's a scary world out there right now. So we're just trying to keep everyone safe, including ourselves.
That's good. Yeah, no, I mean, I know these are troublesome periods, troublesome time in general. And I mean, we don't know when the end of this is coming. We don't, states such as, I'm from Texas, and we've started to reopen, which has been nice. It's nice not being locked up, but at the same time, are these cases gonna exponentially grow now just because we're like, hey, like we want to reopen the economy, and our governor's like, hey, like let's do it, let's open up. Obviously there's stages, and they're gonna be safe about it. Such as, for instance, right now, restaurants only 25% capacity, and then middle of this month, being May 15th, we will go up to 50% capacity if and only if the cases are not exponentially rising just due to us reopening. But we're still in the early stages of reopening here in Texas. So we don't exactly know how that's going to affect the virus. But, any common sense type person would think that, oh, it's going to grow. We don't know that yet, but there's a good chance that it does. It hasn't really affected my family personally or anybody that I know personally, thank goodness. I knock on wood, hoping that doesn't happen. I'm staying safe. I'm wearing masks when I go out. I wash my hands all the time, and I limit myself from going out. I'm not going out as I used to. Go eat fast food, go to a restaurant. There's only so much we can do right now. Restaurants and essential things such as the hair salon or the nail salon, and obviously grocery stores have been open, but they're very safe. In particular, certain chains of that nature are. Um, but I mean, has your schedule just been super hectic? Like, do you work longer hours because of this, or work more days because of this?
I personally have been picking up a couple more days a week.
Mhm.
So my schedule right now is I work 4 days on and then 4 days off. And those 4 days on,
Okay.
I work 12 hours. But they just need the extra help cleaning all the ambulances and stuff, and just
Okay.
getting everything prepped and really just decontaminated. I pick up a couple extra shifts a week and help out with the cleaning process.
Awesome. How do you like that schedule? I mean, the 4 days on, 4 days off, and it's 12-hour shifts. Like they can be demanding. Don't get me wrong, but I mean that seems like a pretty decent schedule, just in my book. I mean, how is that good for you? Like, do you like the schedule?
Yeah, I personally love it. You get the
Yeah.
4 days in, you work your full time job. Can't really
Hmm.
do much during those 4 days.
Yeah.
Well, I can't personally. I enjoy my sleep quite a bit, but those
Yeah.
4 days off, I mean, it's feels like a mini vacation, you know?
Oh, I bet. I bet, especially with that line of work and especially with the times that have presented themselves. I'm sure it's a much needed break.
Yeah, 100%.
Well,
100%.
you want to talk some Fortnite?
Yeah, let's go for it.
We briefly talked about this earlier. Vance has some experience in that field of Fortnite. I played it. It was a popular game for the longest time. It still is a pretty popular game. Don't get me wrong. Um, the state that Fortnite's in now. Just on my end of things, I don't touch it as much. Like I don't play the game as much as I should. Because I'm just more focused on Call of Duty and all these new horror games, and get DB Fighter Z finally today, and it's been really enjoyable. But I mean, Fortnite itself, like I tend to play it with some of my IRL friends as much as possible from time to time, and it's an enjoyable game still. They obviously added bots, which I didn't really care for. It's just like free kills, um, but they can screw you. They can at times. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, just on my end of things, supposedly, the devs are starting to listening. Um, they we think so. I mean, there's cool events. I didn't get to the Travis Scott event, but there's cool stuff that Fortnite does. They do cater to the community, not as much the competitive community. But it's an enjoyable game overall. But I mean, what do you think of the state that Fortnite's in at this time?
Yeah, like you said, Epic is starting to listen to the players a little bit more. They kind of got away from that the past 4 or 5 seasons. Didn't listen. All the community, especially the competitive community, were just urging for them to make changes that generally the whole fan base agreed on, and Epic just wasn't listening. But it seems like they're kind of getting back into the listening phase. I
Hmm.
know recently they just took out the what is it, skill based matchmaking in squads, just pub
Oh yeah.
squads, but that's a huge thing. People don't want to go into these pubs to sweat their balls off, you know? They just want to go in there, have a good time, hang out with their friends, try and do some cool things, just relax.
Hmm.
Before it was just every game was an arena game without the siphon and without the the good times, the points.
Doesn't Arena have lower mats, like 500 apiece?
Yeah, you are cut off at 500, but
Oh yeah.
you also, I mean, just have to learn to adapt to not build as crazy arm up whenever you can. It's something you have to adapt to.
Hmm. Are you your console, right?
I am both console and PC, but I play Fortnite on my PC.
I got you. What's your whole opinion on this KBM versus console war?
I mean, it aggravates me. I see all the pros saying that if you're a controller, you're a bot. You just have aimbot. That's all you're
Mhm.
good for. That's all you can do. No, that's not it at all. I know
Yeah.
from someone with my level of personal life things going on, I don't have the time to learn a whole new setup, the keyboard and mouse. It's just not going to work for me. You know? So I enjoy playing it. I enjoy playing sometimes at a higher skill gap, and
Yeah.
I only know controller. I don't have the time to learn something else. I just don't realize that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I've tried both. Um, Obviously more console, but I plug in my little desktop keyboard and mouse, and I tried it. It's fun. Don't get me wrong. And console players are like, "Well, just click on them," and they build super fast. And KBMM says, that we have super aim assist, which I mean, you know, there are pro players that are console and they're sweaty. I'm personally not. And I just feel like if I go up against PC players, 9 times out of 10, I do tend to lose. Maybe I'm a bot, don't get me wrong, but I can't compete against KB and M all the time.
Oh,
I play those little zone wars with some of the old Bushido guys. And they're mostly keyboard and mouse, and I get pooped on 100%. Yeah, I have fun with it and sometimes get my lucky aim assist kill, but yeah, I can't. I don't know. I don't know. It's all funny. I love seeing the drama on Twitter all the time about it, and hearing Ninja's input at times, and it's just the funniest thing. It's true. It's just I don't know,
I've had my fair
humorous.
share of fun there. Whenever I see any of the pros posting
Hmm.
something about controllers need to get out of the game, that's not where this game is headed. They're all aimbotters. I just throw in a little crybaby gif, however you guys pronounce it, and it's I just have fun with that. It doesn't really get any attention, but it is just so funny from my end. Just all I see them as is a bunch of crybabies.
Yeah, I mean, you could always be that person and be like, adapt.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Jesus.
But a little bit of troll here and there. It's always a good time.
It's fun. It is fun. I love seeing it. Just like I said, I see it on social media all the time, and they sure do. It's just humorous. I love reading the comments, but when we talked about this earlier on, previous seasons and whatnot, the past of the game. I guess from my end, it was really fun. I had some really good times on the games or on the game with friends. Season 4 and season 5 were just personally my favorite. I didn't play season 3 as much as I should have. Just I was focused on other stuff, I guess. And that I heard that was a really good season. Season 4
Oh,
and season 5, for me, that's what I grinded the most of, and I truly had fun. It was a really enjoyable game at the time. But I'm sure you can touch more on like when you started, and how it's progressed or whatever, maybe just from your eyes.
okay. So I started probably midway through season 3, and I was a bot at the beginning, bro. That was just awful. I couldn't build. Just the shooting was different than I've always played COD and shit.
Yeah.
And that third person point of view was just something I had to get used to, and it was weird as all hell. But
Gee.
I grinded it. I had a lot of fun with it. You know, up through like season 4 and 5, like you said, that's when I really started grinding to get better.
Yeah.
And that's actually when I started streaming. Was I saw on Twitter that it was kind of becoming a big deal. I was like, oh, this seems like something I'd be into.
Hmm.
And that's when I started my little streaming. I want to say career, but uh, more just fun time. You know,
Oh yeah.
season 7, season 8, starting to get off of track a bit. It's still fun, but you could definitely tell it was on the decline a bit.
Yeah.
And we, we, we don't need to talk about the seasons after that. They were just horrible.
Yeah, that's why I stopped playing. I think I went AFK season 8 through chapter whatever, chapter 2, season whatever we are on now. I definitely haven't played as much as I should. I only play when people beg me to get on and have fun with them. And I mean, I still enjoy it, but I think the enjoyable aspect I like of Fortnite is playing with friends. I don't personally love to just pub stomp it as much as I used to. It's just not my pub stomping type of game. But when my homies ask, "Hey man, let's play some Fortnite," if they convince me to play it, which they have to convince me, I will play it. But it's not
Not your
always
go-to.
it's not I don't wake up every day and I'm like, oh, I'm playing Fortnite today. I'm either playing MW, yes, I love COD, playing some of that Warzone. I'm playing Dead by Daylight or PUBG now. I'm kind of getting back into PUBG, but I don't know. I don't. It's just been it's been crazy. Where what Fortnite was and what it's become. Obviously, the game's grown. It has millions of fans. It was, it had the what was it? it was Booga who won the World Cup for, was it solos?
Yeah, he won the solo World Cup.
Yeah, I mean that kid right there made more money. Now I don't know what he made taxed off of it, but made more money than the number one COD player has made in the last like 10 years. Now, COD's been
Yeah,
around a long time. Now, obviously, the prize pool hasn't been what it was. But that just blew my mind that somebody just blew out. I don't know who. I think it might have been Krim or Karma. I think it's Krim. Krim. It's definitely Krim now. I know that for a fact. But at the time of the World Cup, I don't think it was Krim. I think it was Karma, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But it's just crazy how much money is in that game competitively.
Oh, it's millions. I know the World Cup. I think they set aside 100 million just for that whole tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts. I know you got. I think it was 50,000 to qualify for the World Cup,
Yeah.
and then
Wow.
it's some good pocket change there.
Oh yeah.
And then Ugo, when he won it, the prize pool was 3 million before taxes. $3,050,000
Wow.
or pre-tax. That's good money. Especially, I think he's 16 too, which is
Well, he's young. Yeah.
that's good money for a 16-year-old. That's a decent first car.
That's another thing. I think Fortnite, they have their potential or sometimes bans of younger cats within the community, but they have catered, to those younger esport players a lot more than other esports have. You have to be 18 for a lot of the bigger, well-known esports. Now that's all I know for like CS:GO, R6, kinda, and majorly COD. I don't know everything, so don't come at me if you're like, "Whoa, you can actually you can play Super Smash Bros at 13." I don't know that. I'm COD, somewhat CS:GO, somewhat R6. That's as much as I know. But I mean, they've done a good job competitively with the younger scene. Those kids, that aren't even adults yet, that are just absolutely sweaty at the game. They've done well catering to them and making them money. I mean,
Yeah.
they've done good.
Really, that's going to do good for all of esports, potentially. It's going
Oh
to
yeah.
get younger kids more interested in the esports community. And not everyone's going to stay on Fortnite, obviously, but maybe they switch over to Call of Duty or R6, like you said, once they
Yeah.
hit 18, and they'll have some previous experience in the esports world. It'll
Mhm.
just help the whole esports community as a whole, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Halo, if I'm not mistaken, there's been Halo pros that have come over to Call of Duty, and done phenomenal. Formal, Enable, now Shotzi. Um, I believe that now I don't know this off the top of my head, so don't come at me. But I believe you don't have to be 18. I think it's like 16 for Halo. And then once Shotzi was able to turn 18, once he turned 18, he came over to Call of Duty, and he's done phenomenal recently. Now people are going to come at him and say, "Oh, it's because Call of Duty's online. He chokes on land, yada yada yada." Yes, Shotzi didn't do good at the LA homestand, but Dallas did win the LA homestand. That was the last LAN event we had before coronavirus decided to slap us in the face and say, "Hey, no more Call of Duty on LAN. We're going to go ahead and give you online format," which is it's all right. But a lot of the pros complain about just network issues and the refs being weird, and there's a lot of drama within the CDL right now. But what the CDL pros do really good of that other esports people pros don't do is they let the CDL know how they feel. They don't really care about the consequences behind what they say. They're going to let them know so that they make the game better. Um, just that's just how they roll, which is it's funny to see because they're always ripping IW, they're always
Right.
ripping MW. I mean, it's it's hilarious what they do. But yeah, I mean, you
It's
got anything
COD.
else on Fort? Yeah, it's
Uh,
COD. That is
they're
true.
they're just the best shit talkers. That's how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I think we covered Fortnite pretty well. We do have one more subject to cover within this podcast, but we're going to go into a promotional section. This is something new that I am doing per podcast regarding it could be, if you want to sponsor this podcast, please do it. That'd be awesome. But today, on this episode, I am promoting my team, Azure Allegiance. You can check them out in the link below. I will have the link tree that goes to each and every one of the links that we possibly have connected to the team. But going into a few promos, we're going over our two sponsors, Eternal Customs and XP Boost. Eternal Customs is awesome. They've done great. We have really good merch through them. Got a really good deal. Know the owner personally. Shout out Veggies. He's a really good guy. But if you want to get some of the Azure Allegiance merch, go to their website at eternalcustoms.com. Go to Azure and use code Azure, that is AZURE, for 5% off.
Good
Go
deal.
rep us. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. And if you come join the team, I might get you a better discount. But going into XP Boost, pick them up, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something like that. And we decided to go with them. They've been really good to us, and we got an even bigger discount for you. So if you want to go get some XP Boost, get that good flavor, get those good vibes going within your gaming, you get amped up, go sweaty, get cracked like Simp from Atlanta FaZe, and go ahead and use code Azure Allegiance for 10% off your purchase. That's hashtag TeamXP, code Azure Allegiance for 10% off.
That's a steal. That's just free extra money in your pocket.
Exactly. Why not use it? Go use it, baby.
Oh yeah.
Man, oh man, oh man. Well, we're getting towards the tail end of this. I know we've had some good conversations, but do have one more little section to hit on, and then we'll discuss some stuff. Talk whatever we want to talk before we bring this to a close. But I do want to talk about your own organization that you are a part of called Neglect Gaming, and just learn a little bit more about it. I do know of the organization. I know the people. Worked with them before. Love those guys. They're really good people and whatnot. But I guess we talk a little bit about the purpose behind the organization first.
All right. Well, yeah. Wagnus and I. Wagnus, of course, he was a manager over at Bushido back in that whole group. I know him personally. He's a great guy. Great heart. Just overall great person. Stood in his wedding. Would die for that man. We got together after Bushido fell apart there. And we're like, we want to start a team. We want something a little bit different. It might be out there, but we want to be a little bit different. Our whole purpose for Glut Gaming is we just want to create a family-like environment for players to just grow and just feel the love from each other. Our key mission is to just create that family-like atmosphere for the team. That's really it. Some people that want to get some exposure, like I said, they help them grow. Hopefully, get them into some bigger teams that can really help their whole path. It's really our whole purpose there.
I think establishing, from my experience within organizations, that being content organizations, esports organizations, is establishing that family-friendly atmosphere. But at the end of the day, depending by organization, it is a business, so you do your business things. But you need to establish that foundation and get to know one another, because I think if you get to know your members, it'll go a lot further in any way, whatever that may be. It's good to lean on one another, and have fun with one another, create good content with one another. It's just you do things better together. So it's good to have a family that supports you and just do great things, accomplish new stuff. But that's I don't know. It's fun. It's good stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So does Neglect have any new things that you want to cover? New things maybe in the future or whatever it may be. Well, we'll talk about the future, but is there any new things that we can bring up at this time?
Like I said, it's just we're fairly new. We started maybe a couple months ago. We're not very big. Don't have a big influence, but with me being the CEO and the owner who is working too through the COVID, we just have been extremely busy trying to, help maintain the order in the community. So we've kind of had to back off from it a bit, but hopefully when this all dies down, we'll be able to get back on track, get some more videos out there. We have some videos currently on our YouTube. Anyone wants to go check it out, it's Glut Gaming. Search it up. And we want to get back into that as soon as possible. because we miss putting the videos out there, putting some attention to our players. It's been hard, but we'll get back to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can say this from my point of view. With Azure is things are not going as quick as I want them to be. Just because that limiting factor of what's going on. This virus it's affected many businesses. And I treat my organization as a business, so obviously things are going slower than I would like. Thankfully, me being out of school, just finished finals, passed them all. Heck yeah, that's great. Passed all my
Oh
classes.
yeah.
That's awesome too. Um, I can get back into that, but there for a while, it definitely was affecting the team, just from the point of view of things just being slower, us not getting stuff done. Dez has to work many, many more hours than he had to before. Works for FedEx, UPS. He's gonna kill me for not remembering that, but he delivers packages and he's delivering way more packages because you know what? You are at home right now and you are more prone to buy and ship more stuff to your house, order all that fun stuff. So I thank people like him for doing that job because he's doing like 200 to 250 stops a day, working 16 hours, working 7 days a week at times. Has to ask for days off because he has to work every day. But things are crazy. I'm looking forward to all this being over so that we can all get back to a somewhat normal. I don't think things are going to be normal after all this, but get back to our reality a little bit. Get back to work, get back to enjoying different things we have going on in our lives to the fullest and not over video, and just stuff like that. But I mean, we can touch base on our last little thing before we wrap it up a little bit. Maybe conversate a little bit while longer. Is what I meant to say. Is there anything that you can spill the beans on with the future of neglect?
We have a couple of what I think are big things here coming in the future, but how fun would it be to ruin that whole surprise?
Why ruin it?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. It'd be a good
Exactly.
surprise.
Had to hit the question though, man. Sometimes I
Yeah.
got to teeter totter on what you have going on with the future, but people like to know. Um, I will have the socials, obviously, for Vance down below. I'll have the socials for Neglect down below. If you want to go check those out as well, check out his team, check out what they have going on. Things are slow on both ends of everything. And I'm going to try to, I guess put out these podcasts as much as I can, maybe every weekend. I got a lot of stuff lined up, but I mean, we can sit here and talk a little bit more. I mean, Vance, is there anything else we should, talk about, bring up or whatever it may be, or we can, wrap this baby up.
I know that you're big into COD. I'm sure you're itching to talk a little bit more about that.
So, Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a great game. If we talk about like where I came from COD, what have I transcended within Call of Duty? Man, I played the first Call of Duty at a very young age on the original Xbox. Obviously the fan favorite Call of Duty is Modern Warfare 2, but I happened to be 9 years old when that game dropped and didn't really have Xbox Live. Didn't really even know you could play online with people through your console at that age. Was given Xbox Live, played a little bit of Modern Warfare 2, dove into Black Ops 1 full force. So that became my favorite game, just due to the fact that I had my first experience with online and grinding the game at a young age. So I had that sentimental value of the game. Didn't really like Jetpack Call of Duty. That's just a personal opinion of mine. World War
No,
II came back, and I enjoyed the game. I know you loved the game. You enjoyed the game. There's mixed reviews, obviously, across the board in the community of World War II, but it was fun. I still have this PTSD of the flame throwing shotguns with incendiary shells. Just that sound, really, really, I can hear it. I can hear it right now. But one thing you can say about World War II is it had some really good. It had a really good soundtrack. You can't tell me that soundtrack wasn't good. It was
it
awesome.
was actually fire. Great.
It was good. It was really good. Black Ops 4 rolled around. This is when I started producing content. I had fun with the game. Didn't produce as much content as I wanted on Black Ops 4. Brought back a league play system and grinded that a lot. Didn't really get to grind Black Ops 2 league play. I'm one of the only people that will sit here and tell you that I didn't necessarily hate Black Ops 2, but I did not love it because once Call of Duty went from because it went from like a modern warfare type game, Vietnam, Cold War, and then more like modern Desert Storm type stuff to like futuristic. And then once COD started kind of going futuristic, it annoyed me, and I don't know why. But it's a
Yeah,
good
I feel
game.
that.
I never played League Play on it, but of course, like I said, played BO4 League Play, grinded that. Modern Warfare came out, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I know you're having fun with Warzone and whatnot, and
Oh yeah.
it's been enjoyable. I didn't watch too much competitive esports, competitive Call of Duty growing up, but I do know of everything. The old Optic Gaming, Phase, Team Envy, EG. I mean, just the original teams that we had way back when. Don't know all of them, so don't make fun of me, but I did, I've watched every one of those videos. I know of the history. But I do watch all the Call of Duty events. I've watched them all over the last 3 years, including World War II. And they've been real enjoyable to watch. I've had a lot of fun watching them. I was a Hundred Thieves fan last year, and they did good. I mean, they reverse swept FaZe. Who couldn't ask for a better, what is it called, man? A better series. It was a good series.
Oh yeah, I
But
remember watching that.
it was good. It was really good. It was an enjoyable game. I can't believe they reverse swept them. I mean, they were down 0-2 or 1-2 in a control and came all the way back. Control was the game 3 game mode that was played within the series, basically. But I did get some of the Hundred Thieves guys to wish me happy birthday on Twitter last year, which was really dope.
Oh, I
I
remember
don't
that.
know. I don't know who didn't tell me, but I mean, I know Octane and Naval, Kenny, and was it Slasher? Slasher might have, but it was just really awesome because I watched those dudes and like it was terrible when the season ended. It didn't end the way we wanted it to, obviously, but rocking into this year, I'm from Dallas, so of course I'm Dallas Empire. I gotta love the Huntsman. I'm not a bandwagon fan. Everybody says that Huntsman fans are bandwagon just because of Hector, but why wouldn't I want to follow Hector's culture? Okay, that doesn't make me bandwagon. That makes I want to follow his culture. I mean, I don't know.
Winning culture.
Yeah, what do you want me to say? Exactly. A winning culture. Obviously, at the recording of this podcast, Huntsman, little on a downhill. But they did supposedly sub General in for wow. That just blew my mind that I can't think of his name. I was just thinking of it right off the Pierce. Pierce, Mr. Gunless, Mr. Gunless. God, I'm gonna get hated on for forgetting that. My mind, that's the first time my mind has gone blank trying to think of something on this. But we'll see how that works out. I'm looking forward to the future. Obviously, at the recording of this podcast, Atlanta just won the Florida home series. GG's to them. I mean, I like Atlanta. Don't get me wrong. Simp's probably going to go down as one of the greatest. He's obviously proved that. But I mean, Call of Duty from you, whether it be esports or just playing the game in general. I mean, how's it been for you, my man?
Well, I'll start how you started out. I played Modern Warfare 2 was my first one that I played. I didn't have an Xbox growing up, unfortunately. So I would just kind of play with friends here and there. But then I grinded out Black Ops on the Nintendo Wii. That was a fucking nightmare.
Yo,
I,
I bet. I bet I've tried.
you had to get like the whole gun thing to fit the controllers in, and you had to actually aim to aim. It was wild. Weird time. But I didn't have internet growing up, so I couldn't really play online for that either. And then I just kept playing all the Call of Duties. I would play a lot of Black Ops 2 with my uncles and cousins. Whenever we'd have a big family gathering, that was just kind of our thing. He had there was three. Oh, he has 4 Xboxes. They're all hardwired together, so we can all play together in different rooms and have a lot of fun with each other, doing something we all love. Still do that to this day with some Black Ops 2.
Heck yeah.
Then after that, played a little bit of Ghost. That was a good game. Very good game. That's where I started playing online. Had a lot of fun with it. Not very good, but it was there for fun.
I love Ghost. That's definitely a lot of people didn't really like Ghost, from a multiplayer aspect. I enjoyed the multiplayer. It wasn't the greatest thing ever. I enjoyed it. But I will sit here and say to this day, you can argue with me all day long that Ghost did have a top 3 campaign within the Call of Duty series.
100%.
Th Make a second one, please. You
That'd
you
be
left
great.
us off on a cliffhanger to make a incredible Ghost 2.
Sick. Honestly, I've been thinking about going back and just playing the campaign for that one here for the last couple of weeks. Stream that possibly.
I don't think I ever replayed it, and I replay a lot of campaigns.
Yeah, same. But then, like you said, I loved World War II. I'm not even going to talk about the advanced and infinite warfare. Hated the jetpacks, the jumping around, climbing on walls and shit. It was annoying.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't play those at all. Then into World War II, I grinded this game with Wagnus. That's actually where Wagnus and I met. Here we are,
Oh,
starting
really?
our own team together. Yeah, we were in
Okay.
the what was it? The headquarters there, where you can just run around and upgrade all your guns and all that good shit.
Uh-huh.
And I was just playing by myself one night, and freezing, by the way. And I was trying to get one of the Easter eggs where there was the soccer balls or whatever they are hidden across the map.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get the one that was on top of the main building, the main bunker there, headquarters.
Yeah.
And you have to like go. You know how you have to first start off by climbing up that wall over by the theater.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to do that, and some random fucks were just not letting me up there, just standing up there, teabagging me from the top ledge there, and just not letting me climb. You know, usual Call of Duty shit. And getting pissed, I'd try to run around, make them think I was not interested anymore. Come back, and they were still there, just teabagging. And
Jeez.
eventually, they added me into their party chat. He's like, "Yo, what's up, fucker? You trying to do this shit? You're not going to today." I was like, "Dude, I just heard about this. I'm trying to get this Easter egg done." You know Wagnus now. He has a big heart, and he felt bad
Mhm.
after. Ever since then, we played together, got really close. Like I said, stood in his wedding. We'll die for that man. And here we are now today because of that game. Honestly,
Well, that's a great story. I never heard that one.
no,
That's cool. You
yeah.
got trolled.
Wagnus trolled me and felt bad for me when I told him I was just trying to complete some shit.
That sounds like a Donnie thing to do.
Oh, it's a very Donnie thing to do. And then played a bit of Black Ops 4. I wasn't very good at it. Not bad, but it was alright. Not a bad
Yeah.
game. Uh, Here we are now with Modern Warfare, having a blast with it. Pub stomping the shit out of people. Trying to get some platy SMGs right now on my last gun.
There you go.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I didn't watch a lot of Call of Duty growing up. Like I said, I didn't have internet in my house until I was probably 14. So
Mhm.
I didn't really know that there was competitive shit going on, the YouTube videos of the trick shots and phase and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Just it wasn't an option. Then I got into college, started hearing about it a little bit more, started watching, a couple of trick shots, thought it was cool, whatever. Never thought anything
Mhm.
of it. And did I start watching competitive? I think it was last season, like 100 Thieves, like you said. I really actually started getting into it, and it
Oh,
just
yeah.
a very hyped up atmosphere, and I loved it. I've always been a competitive person, and seeing how you can take something that I love and do it competitively like that, it was just mind blowing when I heard about it. Uh,
Oh, yeah. It blew my mind too, watching it. It's like you said,
Unreal.
you have that competitive nature towards a game, and then you get to watch people that would smoke you play at a very high level in front of thousands of people in the arena, in front of tens of thousands of people online viewing it, and it's funny. You got the trolls in chat, the copy pastas in chat. I mean, there's there's so many memes and just funny things behind Call of Duty esports.
Oh,
It's just it's an enjoyable community.
yeah, especially if you like to do a bit of shit talking. Like I said, they're
Oh
the
yeah.
best and have some good times in you know voice chats of the games. They just fuck with people.
Yeah, there's nothing like an S&D lobby and game chat, man. Nothing like it. You will hear some of the funniest things, and some just I can't even put it into words. Just some things you don't want to hear.
Remember the oh shit, well, we were playing gunfights there like a
Mhm.
month ago or so. It was me, you, and one of your buddies, and
Uh-huh.
we came across this one group, and we were all just having a good time, whatever. And we
Yeah.
killed the last dude for the last game, whatever. And he's like, "Oh man, if your dad wasn't blowing me right now, I would have killed your ass." Dude, it's the greatest thing. We all just laughed hard as hell. It was a
Oh
good
man.
time. Remember that shit?
Yes, now that
The
you
night
say
you're
it.
trying to sing Hallelujah with everyone.
Oh man. Dude, I sing all sorts of stuff in game chat.
Oh yeah,
God.
dude, I fucking love playing with you just because your shit talk is at peak level.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm a calm person. No, I'm definitely not a calm person. But what I'm trying to say is, like, emotionally, I can't be bothered. You know, I was not yelled at as a kid. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I played football, and I don't think nothing compares to like just being yelled at in sports and a
Oh,
competitive
100%.
nature, and also the fact that I was that squeaker on MW2, BO1, BO2. So I took it. I learned it. You were molded by that trash talk. You you
Oh,
you either
100%.
broke or you went on and made something out of yourself and learned all this new trash talk. My
Yeah.
brother-in-law, he's 26, something like that. Um, and he was the type of kid talking trash to me, and hearing some of his stuff today when we're playing Rocket League, it reminds me and gives me PTSD from those days on MW2. It's just I can't be bothered. So I don't know. I infiltrate the minds of people whether I win or lose. I like to say I win all the time because I do. But people just get way too salty. They get
Oh
way
yeah.
too salty on a game, and it's very easy to manipulate somebody's mind when they are
Oh yeah.
frustrated.
Oh yeah. You just find something that triggers them a little bit, and you dive headfirst into that shit. It's very easy. My mindset's a little bit different. I competed at some of the highest levels for wrestling. There's really
Mhm.
no shit talking for that, you know.
Yeah.
It's you if you want shit talk, you go out on the mat and you do what you gotta do. And you prove like, hey, I just beat your ass one on one. You can't shit talk. And you
Mhm.
also learn from that if you lose, you can't shit talk someone because they just beat you one on one, you know? So
Exactly.
you learn to accept like defeat with like a head held high type situation.
Yeah.
Or you know, you win honorably. Just, you just know that you did better. You don't have to shit talk. You know? So not
Exactly.
the
I
I'm not
mean,
the best shit talker. That's why I enjoy watching you do it because thrive in those situations.
it's hilarious, man. I think of the dumbest stuff on the spot, stuff that sometimes doesn't even make sense, but it will still irritate people, and I don't know why. I don't know how they're so easy to make mad. Just manipulate their minds. That's all it is. It's psychology. It's basic psychology. I mean, my mom was a striving psychology major, and it's just funny, man. You just I don't know. Manipulation on Call of Duty of making people mad is the easiest thing, but also quite the funniest thing to do.
100%. 100%.
Man, oh man. Well, trying to think of anything that we can cover before this episode comes to a close, but I don't know, man. I mean, I think we covered a lot of stuff within this episode.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but I mean, you got any final comments before we wrap this baby up?
Uh, I'm I'm pretty set. We covered everything.
Oh
Stay
yeah,
safe out there. Wash your hands, filthy animals, and yeah, that's about it for me.
it's awesome. It is awesome. Well, Vance, man, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come hang out with me and talk a little bit. It's been really fun. Um, for the podcast itself, looking forward, I'm going to try to drop episodes every weekend, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, on my YouTube channel. Obviously, if you're sitting here watching this on YouTube, then you're here. You know. I also upload these to SoundCloud. I always have the links posted on my Twitter, not my YouTube, but my Twitter for the SoundCloud because, sometimes you don't want to sit there and watch it. If you're driving, it's easier just to go to SoundCloud, press play. So obviously these will be uploaded to SoundCloud as well, just like my first one. I have, this is episode 2. Episode 1 was really good with Active, aka Roy Hello Marquez. It's been really good with Vance on this episode too. And then, I do have people for 3, 4, and 5, which is good. I have something planned ahead. We're going to rock out with it and have fun moving forward. If you did enjoy this podcast, please feel free to leave a thumbs up. Please feel free to subscribe if you were on YouTube on that platform. We'll be here every weekend for a little while. And I'll especially get something planned every weekend. Just like I said, I'm going to try to have this podcast uploaded every weekend. But if you have made it through this podcast thus far, I appreciate you for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening. Vance, I had a lot of fun with you. We had some really good conversation. And with that, I thank y'all so much for watching this podcast. I will see you on the next one. It's been Chevy, guys. Later.
You don't subscribe, you have a little wiener.